All right, guys, how are we doing, Chris? How's it going, my man?
Doing well, man. I thought when you held up that five, you meant 5 more minutes. I was like, oh shoot.
No, no, that was a quick a quick
Yeah,
little
we
clip
we were
we
too
had there.
excited, too excited to get into this episode.
Yeah, man, it's a big day, Chris. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of stuff that we hoped we'd never have to talk about, but we're gonna have to talk about it, and that's the reality of covering a sports team. Doing all that is you can't just talk about the positives about a player or a team. You have to talk about everything. So we're gonna have to get into the Anthony Edwards situation. We're gonna get into the Carl Anthony Towns comments. Those ones are also they're interesting. We're gonna go into a little Jake Layman tribute, which I think is important that we do because we're huge Jake Layman supporters, and with him no longer being on the Wolves, I think we should talk about him. Want to talk about the movie Hustle a little bit, and then Michael Grady. He did the NFL Ravens game. I actually didn't get a chance to listen, but I know you did, so I want to hear your thoughts on how he was and what to look for this year.
Yeah, no, that all sounds great to me.
What kind of is that? A bananas hat?
Oh, what are they called? My grandma actually gave me this hat before she passed, and they're like the Biloxi Shuckers or something. I don't know. She's on a minor league baseball team.
Oh, I thought it
Th-
was
thought
this.
the hat thought the hat was pretty cool. I mean, it's like a clam on there. If anyone
Yeah,
knows anything about the team, comment below. I don't know a thing about them, so
I thought it was the Savannah Bananas. I was gonna say as
no, that'd be cool to have one of those hats though.
wearing the Saints shirt. Those are kind of our competitors in the minor league area. So
Entertainment, baseball entertainment space.
baseball entertainment space is a good way to put that. All right. So Chris, without further ado, let's get into the first topic, which is the Anthony Edwards comments that were made on his Instagram story. What night was that?
I don't know, but all I remember is you sent me and Andrew a text of like, "Did you see what Anthony Edwards says?" And I'm like, "No, like there's nothing on his story." And then we found the leaked video, and yeah, it definitely was not good. Actually, my mom texted me before we went live tonight. She's like, "You gonna talk about it?" I'm like we covered the team. We got
Yeah,
we
we
got
got to talk about
got
it,
to
man. We
talk
got to.
about it. First of all, I think the biggest takeaway is the actual statements he made, which were, I mean, pretty unprofessional and obviously sensitive to a lot of people. Pretty homophobic statements. So I mean, it sucks because you never want to hear your franchise player and like a guy a lot of people look up to and a guy that we really like say those things. And then I think the other big issue, besides just saying the stuff, is posting the video on social media, which is kind of a lack of awareness on his part, um, for all of it, but especially just actually posting a video like that on social media because you have to kind of know the repercussions of stuff, especially stuff like that you post. I mean, anything you post on social media has the ability to get anywhere or has the ability to turn up, even years later. So I mean, it's a lesson, I think, for him especially, but it's also a lesson I think for a lot of other people regarding social media too. Really be careful what you say, and I know me and Peyton take it pretty seriously because I mean the stuff we post is public. We want our opinions and views to. I mean, we're good people, but we don't want to ever slip up or say anything that would offend someone. So you have to be really careful. You have to be really careful, and I hope he gets more educated on the situation regarding his comments, and I hope he gets more education regarding what he posts on social media.
Yeah, man, it's a really disappointing situation for me. I just Anthony Edwards was kind of regarded as this kind of perfect person, honestly. Like, what did he have any? Has he had any slip ups or any situations yet where it's kind of been a reason to question his character?
Not any that really make like Fox News and CNN and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
that's too
so I mean,
bad.
it's tough that he slipped up like that, and I just can't believe that he would post that. It's dumbfounding to me that someone would be that stupid to post that on Instagram and not understand what repercussions are going to happen, and how that's going to affect him, how it's going to affect the team, how it's going to affect his brand. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he lost sponsorships because of this. He's going to lose money. He's going to get fined. He might even get suspended. It's just, for Anthony Edwards, the fun-loving guy that we all love, it just really sucks to see that. And, but it's not the end of Anthony Edwards. I don't think that this means he's a horrible person. I don't think that this means that he will never bounce back. I think this is a great opportunity for him to grow, for him to, look at himself in the mirror and say, why did I say these things? Do I really mean these things? And if he does, then he's got to look at areas to grow in this and just, get better as a human. But I really don't think this is a cancel Anthony Edwards situation. I think that he's already suffered the consequences enough just by his image. And I think he's someone that takes pride in his image and how people view him. So just by already the amount of repercussions he's gotten from the media, I think he's already learned a lot from it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I one other thing is I really think I wish he would have had a better apology on Twitter. It seemed very cookie cutter, very just cut and paste. I wish he would have been more personal about it, and I hope that he comes out and mans up to his comments and talks about it in an interview or something, and just really goes out of his way to make this better, because I don't think it is a good representation of the person that he is and who he wants to be.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You're gonna I have an Anthony Edwards jersey, so I mean, not saying I won't wear it around, but it definitely makes you think twice of you're gonna be judged in public, because I mean, he's got to understand that though. I mean, there's always going to be something kind of tied to his name with those comments, but hopefully, I think I think we both believe, sincerely in giving people second chances. I don't think one moment defines you in your career. I mean, however, you got to be able to live with that on your name, and all you can do is just improve and, try to just move past it. So.
Yeah, man. I think it's a good opportunity for Ant to grow, but it is definitely disappointing. Well, let's get into the next topic, which
hopefully involves a happier topic next,
which involves another Timberwolves player's comments. Karl Anthony Towns said, "I am one of the best offensive players in NBA history," which is it's quite interesting statement for someone to make when they have never won an MVP, have never won a scoring title. But I mean, what do you think about that, Chris?
First of all, I want to say that the quote was taken out of context, I think, a bit here. He didn't just come out and say a singular quote of saying I'm one of the best offensive talents ever or whatever. He was talking about the pairing of him and Rudy and how they each kind of cover up each other's weaknesses and kind of apply to each other's strengths. He was talking about how Rudy's one of the best defensive players ever. I feel like I'm one of the best offensive players ever. I think there was a bit of a exaggeration there. But however, I did do some digging because I kind of wanted to see where he stands. And there was an interesting stat I found on Twitter, and just to make sure I double checked it on Basketball Reference. But Karl Anthony Towns, and I don't remember who's first place, by the way, so don't ask. Karl Anthony Towns has the second highest offensive rating in NBA history for players who score over 20 points per game. So take that as you wish, as however you view offensive rating, if it is the all encapsulating offensive stat or not. It does go to show that efficiency-wise, skill-wise, he's up there with some of the greats. I'm not gonna say he is the greatest. I don't know who's I don't know who's the greatest offensive talent ever.
It's definitely not Karl Anthony Towns.
It's probably not Cat, but it does go to show you his skill set is very unique, very unique. Some would say this. I think Dirk's really the only favorable comparison to Cat. Dirk's obviously, I think, got him in the mid range, but I really do believe Cat's the better 3-point shooter than Dirk was in his career. I think Cat's had the higher efficiency on more shots from 3-point land. shot attempts per game, by the way, not for career. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have like I. This is another thing. Like Twitter, I feel like people look into stuff a lot. Like really try to analyze it. It's kind of just like, yeah, he thinks in his head he's one of the best offensive players ever. Like I don't think that's
But what's wrong with
too
that?
no,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong. That's what I was about to say. I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking you're one of the best. I think that's good. You should always have that attitude in life. How are you going to get anywhere if you don't think that? We have number one Timberwolves podcast in our bio, whether we're number one to you or not, whether we're
An
number one in
offensive rating.
analytics.
In offensive rating, we're the number one.
Yeah, but
Timberwolves
to
podcast.
us, of course, we're number one. So that's kind
No,
of the mindset you have to have.
yeah, and I honestly I wasn't aware of the context of what he was talking about, but that makes a lot of sense, and it just again it shows you that you can't take everything word for word, what you see on Twitter, the quote you see, but yeah, I mean, if he would have said, or if the quote was, "I'm the one of the best offensive big men of all time," I don't think anyone would have batted an eye. Like I think everyone agrees with that. He's one of the best offensive centers ever. Probably the best 3-point shooting center, as he said. So yeah, I like the confidence, and I like how he's also talking about the Rudy Gobert thing, how they complement each other perfectly. Speaking of Rudy Gobert, did you see his stat line today?
I did. I actually post. Go check out Instagram Howland _at_the_ Mike. We have a new post out. Kind of shows you Rudy Gobert's line. I think it was
19 and 10, I think.
No, it was 19, 14, and 2 and a big win over Italy.
Even better.
France needs, I think, 2 more wins. I think they're going to the semis right now. I'm really not sure who their opponent is. Like I said earlier, I only watched the highlights of those games because they're at really random times.
For sure. I think today's was at a more normal
yeah,
time.
it was afternoon, but I mean, Peyton and I are full-time college students, so we don't have
that
weekday
kind of time.
afternoons on our hands just to watch basketball. But yeah, there's it's really cool to look into because I know we're a little off topic now, but it's cool to look into because they're two completely different games. France has Rudy doing a lot of stuff he will not be doing in the NBA. They have him handling the ball up top and trying to upgrade his offensive game more when really his offensive game is just cleaning up the glass and dunking, which I don't think any of us really have a problem with. Like if that's what he does and plays Hall of Fame historic defense, I think we're all fine with that.
Yeah,
but it's cool to see the
contrast
between the games.
Oh, for sure. Now, Chris, you said you wanted to get into a happier topic next. This one, it might make you sad. It might actually ruin the whole mood of this whole podcast. But I mean, we gotta talk about it, man. We gotta talk about it. Jake Layman, fan favorite, the only player to receive MVP chance when we're losing a game and he has 0 points at the Target Center. The only player to get the loudest ovations every single time he touches the ball. Jake Layman is no longer a Minnesota Timberwolf. He is a Boston Celtic. And we just wanted to go over some of our favorite Jake Layman moments. Chris, I'll let you start off with one of yours. You don't have to say all of them, but your first top number one Jake Layman moment.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's in the top right corner right now. I think that was kind of just the ultimate summarization of Jake Layman's career with the Timberwolves after Ryan Saunders was fired, because that ties into another one of my favorite moments. But there's a video. I think it was during the playoff series, not the play-in, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was during the Grizzlies series. Someone posted a Twitter video like, "Who is this dude? Like, how much you playing tonight?" And Jake Layman walks by, gives him the silent 0. So it was awesome. That was so Jake Layman. That's my number one moment, but I do have some more.
So that is just a fantastic moment, and I'm surprised he had the balls to do that. Like, I mean, I feel like at that point he was kind of like, you know what? I know I'm not gonna play. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna be here next year. Fuck it. Let's just be funny. Try to get some views on TikTok or whatever. But my favorite Jake Layman moment is when he posterized Taco Fall. That was it. Like.
Yeah, that was one of mine too. I'm pretty sure it was when Taco was still on the Celtics.
Yep, it was.
Was it during the COVID? No, that was last year, I believe.
No, it was 2 years ago.
It was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was kind of sick. Jake caught the ball in the wing, gave him a little pump fake. We're all like, ah, man, Jake's going to the rack against Taco Fall. Just goes baseline and slams it on him. Everyone's just like, who is this guy? Going crazy. I wish Jake Lehman hit him with a little too small. I don't know if that was such a big thing then, but oh man, that was awesome to see. That's definitely up there. That's a good one.
Yeah, that moment makes you forget like how good these athletes really are. Like you look at Jake Lehman, I don't know what it is about him, but everyone's just like non-athletic. All he can do is like shoot. I don't know. And did you see how freaking athletic he is? Like he dunks it. He had some nice dunks over his career. Like he was one of the better dunkers on the Wolves, and it's just like goes to show that looks aren't everything with Jake.
Yeah. And this leads me into my other moment. How you said these NBA players are so much better than the average person. If you guys remember the first game of, I believe it was the 2020 season, Ryan Saunders' last season, which he got fired midway through the season. But that first game of that season, guess who was the starting four coming out? It's kind of funny because how far the lineup has evolved. But Jake Lehman was legitimately the starter in our first game of this our season debut, and I'm pretty sure he scored. Someone will have to fact check me because I didn't get time to do this today, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 points. I think Jake Lehman scored double digits as our power forward in the first game of the 2020 season.
Yeah, and I think the funny part about that was like we didn't like bat it. Like we weren't just like, why the hell is Jake Lehman starting? We're like, oh yeah, Jake Lehman start. Like it wasn't like that big of a deal. We're like, yeah, he's our starting four. Like he's not horrible. And then the minute Chris Finch gets in here, Jake Lehman doesn't see the court ever again in a normal moment. And I think that was probably for the best for this team.
I mean, you can't argue with that. Actually, this is my last Jake Lehman moment, and it's more so Jake Lehman moments. You know how the Timberwolves do the pregame outfits and stuff. There's always one guy that just seems to stand out in those Instagram photos, and it is 100% Jake Lehman. Jake Lehman was the outfit MVP. You could argue Vando, you could argue D'Lo, but I think even those guys would tell you Jake Lehman is the swaggiest dresser. Period. Like that guy is such a good dresser.
Such a good dresser.
I wish we had some. I know it's a lot of. We won't have photos for you, but please go look at some of Jake Lehman's pre-game fits, post-game fits. Guys, swag.
Let's see the example. Like what kind of example? Like what's an example of that?
See, I can't describe. There's just too
It's
many.
It's just his drip. You could say is just on.
I'm gonna go find a photo after the stream here, and we'll put it in
on the Instagram
corner. We'll put it on. I'll go post a picture of Jake Lehman's fit on Instagram for you guys, and you guys can go rate it. I would be mistaken if I didn't also mention Jake Lehman had.
Just call him Jake Baby.
Jake Baby.
So that's how you feel about it.
Jake Lehman had a child. I think that's also a high moment in Jake Lehman's career, I'm sure. So Jake Lehman I think Jake Lehman had like the best 3-year stretch of his life with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think just everything right happened for him.
So one of your favorite Jake Lehman moments is that he had a kid?
Yeah, I mean, how could I not be happy for the guy? Come on.
No, I loved the Jake Lehman MVP chance. I think it's one of my favorite Jake Lehman moments, and it's also a really sad moment because, I mean, whoever played high school basketball, you always had that one kid on your team that would never play unless you were blowing him out or you're getting blown out, and they'd go in the game and everyone would cheer, like wanting him to shoot, and if they did get a basket, everyone would go crazy, like it was like impossible for that person to get a basket. So it was almost like they're mocking you for being so bad, and like the fact that you actually scored is awesome. So when Jake Lehman, a professional basketball player who dunks on Taco Fall, who does all these things, like actually makes a shot, people go crazy, chant MVP, and it's just a tough spot to be in. So I'm happy for him that he's getting a fresh start, and I'm hoping he's not as memed on the Boston Celtics because you never want to be that guy.
No.
And going into the next topic, Chris, another meme within the Timberwolves community are the Statement Saturdays. I think we all have our opinions on the neon green Timberwolves jerseys, and it seems like we're changing it up this year. What do you think on the black ones?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is unconfirmed, just like the unconfirmed City Edition jerseys
The
that are
Bob
also on
Ross
our
ones.
Instagram. The Bob Ross
Wait,
jerseys.
can I say a statement on that?
Yes.
It has nothing to do with Bob Ross. It's actually Bob Dylan mural. Bob Ross is the guy with like the long hair who paints like the.
I thought Bob Ross painted it.
I don't think he. It's of Bob Dylan, who's from Hibbing, Minnesota. I think that's. I don't
I
think
mean,
Bob Ross painted it. I mean,
that'd be sick if Bob Ross
I
painted
don't.
it.
But we got someone in the comments section corrected us, and so I thought we should bring that up. But yeah, so
Okay.
go back to statement jerseys.
Yeah. So again, these are unconfirmed, just like the City Editions are unconfirmed. But what a tendency that seems to keep showing up is these are usually like they're usually very similar to the leaked versions that show up on Twitter and stuff before. Like I really haven't seen one that isn't right. So most likely this is going to be your statement jersey. Thoughts? I guess we're like the fashionistas of basketball podcasting. Like I feel like that's all we care about is the gear and the uniforms. But
Yeah, I mean that's
I
fair
kind of
enough.
I so everyone's hating on them, of course. I
Really.
feel like that's just that no, I've on our Instagram too. You can go see there's a lot of hate comments. I feel like a lot of knee jerk reactions to new jerseys all the time are like these are trash. Like I feel
Unless
like
they have
everyone says
trees
that.
on them. Unless they have trees on them,
Yeah,
then oh, they got the
I don't.
trees.
I kind of like it. I kind of like. I love the Jordan symbol on the jerseys. I think the Jordan symbol looks super sick. I like the heather gray. It's not really black. If I'm not mistaken, it's kind of like a really dark gray. I really like that. I like a hint of lime green too. Like I don't like the full jersey being lime green. I wouldn't say the neon statements are my favorite, but I think a little hint of lime green can go a long way. You know how like the Seahawks old jerseys they had like those heather gray jerseys
Yes.
with the neon trimming on them. It reminds me of that a little bit, but with a darker gray. So are they my favorite jerseys of all time? Probably not, but are they? I think they're pretty. I think they're going to look really clean on court.
Yeah, I don't understand the hate at all. I mean, I feel like all the hate in Timberwolves jersey country, everyone hates the neon greens. So if we're replacing the neon greens with something, I feel like whatever it is, it's got to be better than the neon greens. And I think these are a lot better. I thought it was black, if I'm going to be honest with you. But if you're saying it's dark gray, then I believe you. Either way, I think it's really clean. And I would go as far to say that these are better than the navy jerseys, the neon jerseys. I don't know. I think the only jerseys right now that the Timberwolves currently have.
For all the viewers watching on YouTube, yeah, you might be right on the black. Maybe I was
No, we
looking
got
at
it.
that wrong.
We got it in the top corner right now too.
Oh, perfect,
The,
perfect.
the same photo. But even if it's black, dude, I think that's
They're
sick.
clean.
It
They're
reminds
clean.
me of those our city jerseys 2 years
The
ago.
North. See, I didn't love the North Star jerseys design, but I love the color scheme, and I think this
And
does the color scheme better.
yeah, but those were statement jerseys. Statement jerseys are supposed to be out there, unique, and those were so boring and plain that I was like, oh, those should be just like a normal jersey, and that's exactly what these are. Simple, plain, nice touch of green. The only thing I'm not sold on here, Chris, is the words. I feel like the Timberwolves that just looks horrible on the front, the way it's written.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
I
That
mean,
might just be the mock-up, I think, and also the that green line on top of it that kind of looks strange to me as well.
see, it's
And
like it's these little details that unless you're like buying the jersey and wearing it, you're really not even gonna. You're just gonna notice the silhouette of the player on the court wearing it. So I think, I mean, this is a whole nother issue to address too. Is just I know it's such a money grab, and I know people buy them, but dude, like, can we stop having new jerseys every single year for teams? Like, I think it's just so dumb. I think it takes away from the brand. Like you go and like watch an NBA game and you're like, who is playing right now? Because all the jerseys are different. Like Denver's wearing orange, like Philly's wearing like bright red for some reason. Toronto's wearing
yes,
gold. Like what's going on here? I want to see the team's logos, and if they have a cool historic jersey, let's just bring those back.
hey Chris, you
I don't
bring
know.
up some
My
great points,
thoughts,
man.
my opinions.
You bring up some great points, but I think anything's better than the lime greens. I have a lime green cat jersey, and I think it is meaningful now because that's when he scored 62 or whatever he scored. So I mean, but I don't know. I'd say let's jump into the next topic, Chris. This one's something we should have talked about all summer when we were on our hiatus, but Bo Cruz, Kermit Wills, Adam Sandler, the movie Hustle. It was a pretty good movie. Like I was expecting it to be terrible because most sports movies, to me at least, aren't that great. The acting's pretty bad, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. I mean, the storyline pretty predictable, but overall, solid movie.
Yeah, I mean, we watch it here, right?
Yes, I
Yeah, I
watched it
think
with
you were
you and
visiting.
Andrew.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was good. I thought so. Everyone says like Anthony Edwards was amazing and they love him, and I mean, yeah, I think he was good. I think people need to highlight the man of the hour some more, though. I thought Wancho's acting was
Phenomenal.
phenomenal. I
He
thought
he
Wancho
looked
was great.
like Anthony Edwards. He was good. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
he was still like, oh, if you were watching, you'd be like, yeah, he's an NBA player. Like he's not an actor. But Wancho, like I feel like people would be like, yeah, there's a bunch of NBA players, but that main guy is probably an actor. Like he was that good. Um, is he currently on a roster right now?
I think someone might have signed him to a training camp contract. I don't have it off the top of my head, but I think he will be trying to start the season somewhere,
Let me
which
look
is
it
good.
up.
I'm happy. Um, I also thought there was just a lot of intricacies in the movie that were really really cool. Just starting with using all the NBA branding, like they got to use all the Philadelphia 76ers branding, logos. There was a lot of really cool NBA legends in the movie, current day NBA players. And the coolest part I thought was how they actually let Adam Sandler onto the court last year during a game against the Celtics when Wancho was playing. And I thought that was like wild. Like people didn't know or probably people didn't know. It was probably reported. But at the time, I don't think a lot of people knew that Adam Sandler was filming a movie on just like a normal regular season NBA night. So it was pretty cool in that aspect. I thought it was, I don't know. I like obviously it wasn't so realistic, but it's like it's realistic enough to make it a good story. And I thought it was a good movie. So
Yeah, I mean, usually everyone's biggest complaint in sports movies are like the actual sport part of it just looks cheesy. Cause like, I mean, what's that one movie where the quarterback like tries like that meme on Twitter where the quarterback's like throwing passes and they just look horrible. I don't know what it is, maybe like Blue Mountain State or something. But
that's a show. But yeah, no, I know. I get the gist of what you're saying.
yeah, like it's the action of the sports usually takes away from a sports movie. But for these, like it was super realistic. Like the training was insane. Like that training montage when he's running up the hill, that's electric. And yeah, like they were actually playing in those scrimmages, which I think is super interesting. Like those were live scrimmages that they were doing. It wasn't like very scripted at all. Another thing that was really interesting is how they had like the NBA superstars, but they were kind of just like extras, like cameos. Like they weren't like usually if a movie gets a big NBA superstar to be in it, they're gonna try to make like the movie about them. But they just kind of had them be like on the side, and it kind of made it seem more realistic, at least to me.
Yeah, I think it was interesting how like Tobias and most of the other 76ers players did the movie, but it's like funny how they made it out seem like because like Joel wasn't in the movie, so they like made a little subplot for like Joel getting traded, like oh the Sixers made this wild trade, like so I thought that was cool too how they added that because I don't think he wasn't in the movie.
Yeah. So what does this mean for Wancho, who is currently on the Toronto Raptors? He signed a
That's
1 year
what
deal.
it is.
Does this mean he is he? Because I mean, his NBA career. I mean, after this year, if he doesn't turn it around, I think that does he keep looking at doing more movies, or is it kind of like a one time thing for him?
I don't know, man. All I know is Tim Connolly took the first shot on Wancho though to start his career. So I mean, who knows? Maybe Wancho's back in a Timberwolves uniform. I I mean, why not? Why not give him a little 13th man role? Who knows? Maybe he could. Maybe I think he is a good actor, though. I think that's probably what he'll pursue eventually. I think after putting that on display, I think it's a good resume builder. I don't. I think Wancho could really diversify his portfolio. I feel like he could go out there and do something like do like an action movie or something. I could see him in like one of those like you know how The Rock and Kevin Hart do like a bunch of crazy, cheesy action movies together, but they're funny, like
Yeah.
Jumanji and stuff like that. I think he could be in one of those.
Well, another subplot I wanna or a sub point I wanna go into is Adam Sandler. He likes to keep the same people in his movies all the time. Like he likes to have all of his friends. So could you see him bringing Wancho in again? Maybe Ant as well. Once Ant cleans up his messes and stuff. Do you think that Adam could bring them both back for another movie, a comedy
Oh
movie?
man,
I don't know.
I think Hollywood. That's Hollywood's probably pretty tough on that type of stuff. So
At least Wancho.
you,
At least Wancho. Don't pair them
yeah,
together.
at least Wancho. I'd hope it. I mean, I hope that wouldn't take away any opportunities from him, but at least Wancho, I think, would get another
So yeah,
shot.
Michael Grady, Chris. I when you texted me this topic, I didn't even know that he did NFL games, but apparently he did the Ravens game this weekend. And how'd he sound?
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't really. I only listened to a bit of him. I wasn't watching the Jets game. I was watching the Bears beat up the Niners and the biggest monsoon I think I've ever seen.
Out of
Um,
hibernation, season two.
Out of hibernation, might need to come back. But yeah, no, I thought he was good. He was doing sideline reporting in the Jets Ravens game. I don't think you can really get a tell on. I mean, he sounded like he sounds in real life. He wasn't commentating; he was just reporting. So I mean, it's really not the same thing at all. But I thought he was good. He had his facts straight.
Hey, that's good. That's better than us.
Yeah, that is better than us. No blunders that I noticed. But I guess that's I wanted to mention that, but I was really wanting to tie this back into Dave Benz because really don't think
Wow.
we've addressed that
No,
since it happened when he got fired. I think we tweeted a bunch of stuff like bring back Benz, but I don't think we. I think we
we
were in
tweeted a
off
lot.
season mode
Yeah,
at
we
that
tweet.
point. Um, so first of all, I think there were a lot of knee jerk reactions, as there often are when big decisions are made. I think there's a lot of knee jerk reactions both ways on the spectrum. People can never just take the middle ground to start off something, and we're included in that. I think both of us really wanted to bring, like, we thought it was kind of a monumental season, and I think we both kind of paired Dave Benz into that. I think he was a part of that monumental season because how are you going to watch the Timberwolves without the special commentators Jim Pete and Dave Benz? I mean, I think they made the season very enjoyable. When we weren't live streaming, we were listening to them. Even in the playoffs, I turned them on because I didn't want to hear
Yes.
Stephen A. and
No.
Richard Jefferson commentate a game. So it was good. I think it was a great era. Um, well, not really a great era because the Timberwolves were terrible throughout when he actually commentated. So I feel bad that they're starting to get good now and then he gets canned. But I think that just comes with new ownership. I think that comes with a new era of Timberwolves basketball. But it is too bad. I know a lot of people don't like Dave. I know people think like the ant jokes are corny and people just don't think he's that good of an announcer.
Really?
Actually, a decent portion of the fan base thinks that. I think most people are indifferent or like him. I thought he was fine. I mean, again, it was a knee jerk reaction. I don't think he's the greatest commentator in the world, but I thought he was suitable for what the Timberwolves were. I think a team that's kind of doubted and no one really watches, and I think that's kind of what Dave Benz brought into the studio. I think he was underrated. I think is a great word for Dave. Hopefully Michael Grady is all we hope for. But yeah, I just hope the hiring's an upgrade. I guess that's all you can ask for, and brings in a new era of Timberwolves basketball here.
Yeah, I think the problem was it was just a personal thing. Like I think we all, because Dave brought us through those really really tough years of Timberwolves basketball, and he made those games when we were losing by 30. He made them entertaining, and that's what was so great about him is he might not have been the best announcer of basketball games, but he was able to make a non-interesting game into a very interesting thing to listen to, and it kept us listening instead of just shutting it off when we're down by 30 because it was like, oh, let's see what Dave's got to say, because that's when he really got to come out of his element and just be himself, and I love that. And I think it's really hard to let someone go or to uh, see someone's time end with the Wolves, but I think there's a lot of people, Chris, that are a lot smarter than us that made these decisions, and I think it made sense, but I feel bad for Dave for sure. But I don't want. I think it sucks that tarnishes our first impressions of Michael Grady because he's always going to be the guy who replaced Dave Benz, and he's not going to have the most positive expectations coming in from all of us. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be new, but I'm happy to see. I'm excited to see what he's like.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. It's always fun, just to have something new too. I think that's why the start of the season's so fun. It's something new. So I think that could be the same with Mr. Michael Grady. But I also, I think Doogie said this in one of the Scoops podcasts. I think the Timberwolves were actually aiming a bit higher than Michael Grady, but maybe struck out or couldn't strike a deal. So that's also something to watch. Maybe Michael Grady wasn't their first target there, and maybe it was someone else. But it is what it is. I can't wait to embrace Michael Grady. I'm going to give him as many opportunities as possible. Hopefully he's a great commentator.
Yeah, for sure, man. You want to get into some comments here? Looks like we got nice comment section going.
Yeah, read them off. Let's hear them.
All right. Dalton Voss says we win in at least one playoff game this year. And then he said, Ant says something, ?
Yeah, I mean,
someone's not been.
Yes, and yes. I would say yes to both of those things.
Will Cardenas, a good buddy of mine from the St. Paul Saints, says Shauna says hi. Another St. Paul Saints employee. Hi, Shauna. Shout out from CHS Field. Just want to say forever a Saint. And then Will also says better than what Jamal Murray did. So that's an interesting.
What did Jamal Murray do?
He accidentally posted a video on social media, on his Instagram story. Now, do you kind of remember now?
I do remember that, actually.
Yeah, it's tough. Dalton says Ant is still a kid. Lessons will be learned, and he will mature. Cinedeck says, yo, Jake Layman is the GOAT. And then Kieran said, he's so beautiful. I think he's talking about Jake. I don't.
Hopefully.
I hope so. I don't know who he's talking about. But then he also says, are those city jerseys really real? King Physique says, it looked dark gray, but I might be colorblind. So what do I know? I am Timberwolves fan comes in. Yeah, just a lot of great comments, man. I'm happy to see the everyone chiming in. Kieran says, rip Dave Benz. I really liked him. Yeah. Wait, you got anything else to say, Chris?
Honestly, no. This was another. I think we've had some good packed episodes. I think we're making the most of our. I think we're good at that. Coming up with random Timberwolves things to talk about. I mean,
that's what we do. That's what this whole thing started on, Chris, was just talking about random Timberwolves things. I think one thing I want to bring up is if you guys can't sense it in the air, it's getting close to Doogie time. I don't know how close. I don't know how soon. But something changes in the air when it's getting close to Doogie time. And I think it might be within the month for sure. I want to get him on before the season. So, Chris, I don't know if you can comment any more on the Doogie alert, but I think it's going to be soon.
Yeah, I think there will be a DM out to Doogie, I think, in the next week or so. And hopefully we can get him on before the season starts. And season's starting very soon. Preseason starts in less than a month. Actually, it's in like 2 weeks, right? Training camp starts in a week, doesn't it?
Yeah, I had the on the ticker on the bottom of the screen. I had the exact amount of days. I think 39 days till the start of the season. Against the Oklahoma City Thunder on October 14th. So
maybe we'll do a
live stream
for the first preseason for sure for the first game.
No, not the preseason.
No, I think we should do the first because we know the guys will be playing in the first game. Maybe do like a first
half.
Maybe a reaction, first quarter, first half. Who knows?
All right, yeah, whatever. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your week. Why are you laughing?
No, I'm not, man. We're good. Have a great week, everyone. We love you all. Keep watching our stuff.
See ya.
See ya.
Why are you laughing?